What happened?
I was sitting on the couch, like, researching my notes for this episode. And I swear to fucking God, I heard a gunshot go off.
God damn!
Oh, shit.
In my neighborhood, which is normal for your neighborhood.
Yeah, but not yours.
But mine is like some asshole lit off some like firecrackers, but this was like a one
like an
loud
actual gunshot.
Yeah, either a gunshot or a small bomb.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it was Friday night. So
Yeah, so normal. And I was like, what the fuck? And then Lee like muted the TV and we were like listening forever. And I was like, I don't want to be by the window because what if I get shot with a stray bullet? That was like my first thought, which is not a normal first thought to have.
No.
Also, not a normal first thought to think it's a gunshot. It was probably like a backfire.
It's debatable. My dad used to tell me the way that you can tell if it's a gunshot is generally you'll hear more than one. Like,
Yeah.
nobody just shoots someone once unless it's a suicide.
Ooh, maybe it was a suicide, but it was loud as fuck.
But if
so-
it was a suicide, then you don't have to worry about that person coming after you.
That's true. And then I did hear cops right after, and I was like, something
There you
happened.
go. All week, I've been hanging out with a homicide detective
Ooh.
because it's time for golf tournaments and stuff. And so I'm making a bunch of golf tournament signs.
And homicide detectives golf.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know why
does.
I
He
said
golfs all the
plural.
time. And so he's like been at my shop every day, and he just hangs out because I think he has nothing else to do. Like, he takes time off of work to do this.
Plus, you're a pretty lady, and you're like, tell me about death.
Fucking okay. So I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to be like, any good cases you got going on? And like, he doesn't know about the podcast, and I'm not gonna tell him. Like, that's so weird, right?
Oh man, you should.
Yeah. But he's been on like 2020 or whatever.
Ooh.
Like, yeah. But he answered the phone. And he was, like, sitting right next to me. And he answered the phone, and it was someone from his work or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I interviewed the suspect this morning. And I was like, this is it. And I'm trying to pretend that I'm still working, but totally listening.
Super distracted.
Yeah, and he's like, no, he's not dumb. He's a really smart guy. He just thinks differently. He thought he was protecting his country. And I was like,
Oh.
what the fuck did this guy do?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What if this guy's like stringing you along and he doesn't really do any of this?
Right?
And that was like a fake conversation.
I don't know. I've seen him with his gun and
Ooh.
all dressed nice like a detective.
Yeah, that's part of the...
Yeah, he has like a long coat. And I'm like, this is obviously you do.
Like a duster?
Like a duster, but like more like a pea coat, you know?
Ooh. What if he like pulled out a fucking magnifying glass? That's how you know that he's faking it.
He has like the Sherlock hat.
Like a pipe.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well-
He has a mustache. I should get him a pipe.
Ooh.
Just one with bubbles coming out.
And a magnifying glass.
Yeah. But he came on Friday, and I was alone on Friday. And so I had the door locked because I'm like not in the greatest of areas.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to get fucking murdered. And I knew he was coming, but I was like, well, I'll hear him or whatever, right?
I'll unlock it when he gets here.
Yeah, and so I had my headphones in so that I could totally hear someone coming. And then he starts like banging on the garage door, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I go and open it, and he's like, you scared me. I thought you weren't here. And I was like, oh no, I just didn't want you to have to investigate my death. I didn't want to get murdered. And he goes, that's really smart. And I was like,
my God,
oh fuck,
he's gonna
is it?
wear your skin.
I don't think he will. He's really nice.
I'm just suspicious of everybody.
I know.
But that props to you. You got like props from a detective.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah, but then it made me more nervous because I was like, "Is it smart? Like, I'm not overreacting?
Yeah,
you
like,
think
what's
I'm
in
gonna
the
die here?
neighborhood?
Yeah,
You think I'm gonna
exactly.
die here?
He knows what's in that neighborhood. That's where he fucking detects.
Like, can we come up with a secret handshake? That's where he detects. Oh, shit. All right, let's get our goddams on the road.
All right, what you got for me,
Ooh,
Stacy?
I'm going to go first.
There you are.
Okay, mine's really gross.
Oh, I'm excited. What is it?
It's like really gross.
What is it?
All right, more bathroom talk about my work.
Oh,
Fair
no.
warning, everybody. Yeah. So at my work, we have like one of those bathrooms with like 4 stalls or some shit when you walk in.
Yeah.
And so my go-to stall is always the first one. Don't know why. Just fucking go right in there. And I waltz right in.
You and the rest of the population, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, that's probably not a good idea. But I'm always just like, turn, bam, in. you
Yeah.
know?
No, I go for like the third.
Yeah. Yeah, I mix it up, to be honest. But usually I'd say if I had to count, I hit the first one the most.
But you are pregnant, so
I just
any
gotta pee.
extra waddling isn't necessary.
No, I just gotta pee and get the shit out of me.
Yep.
Literally.
Ew.
Anyway, so I'm walking into the restroom and I like walk straight for the toilet, and then I pivot, and in my pivot, I noticed there's something on the ground.
No.
Yes. And I noticed that I had stepped in it.
No.
And it was fucking blood. It was like a murder scene in the bathroom.
What?
Like, whoever was on their fucking period just, like, ripped their pants down halfway through the goddamn stall and started bleeding everywhere. It wasn't on the toilet at all.
What?
But it was, like, all over the floor. And
like, they were just standing there with a skirt on or no pants on?
I guess. I don't know what the fucking scenario could be. I was, like, trying to think and, like, reenact it in my brain. Like, you pull your pants down, you squat, and you start walking backwards for the toilet. Like, what scenario do you get blood all over the ground?
But it would have been on the toilet seat, unless they wiped the toilet seat. Being
but
like,
it would have had to, like, drip down the toilet seat or something.
That is so
It was
gross.
a lot of blood. And here's the worst part.
Uh-huh.
There were chunks.
I was going to say, maybe it was like a nosebleed.
No, it was period blood.
That is so gross.
It was period blood. And I stepped in it.
Ew!
And I wanted to get out of the stall as fast as I could. And so I ripped the door open and I start walking, and I like walk and smush my foot at the same time to get the blood off my shoe. And I'm making little fucking stamp prints all over the goddamn bathroom. And I'm so grossed out, and I had to pee really, really fucking bad. So then I like run to the furthest stall as if it'll get me far away from that monstrosity.
Yeah.
And I go pee, and I walk out, and I'm walking down the hallway, and I walk past my coworker's office, and I poke my head in, and I'm like, the fucking worst thing just happened to me. Like, I have to tell someone.
Yeah.
I can't just keep this to myself.
No, that's how murderers are born, bottling that shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been traumatized. I will get PTSD if I don't talk about this.
Yeah.
So she comes into my office because she shares an office with a guy, and I do too, but he was on break or whatever. Yeah.
Well, he might care, but
he would care a lot about that, but he wasn't
subjected to it.
Yeah. I would just say it in front of him. But anyway, he wasn't there. And so she comes into my office, and I was like, dude, I just fucking stepped in period blood. Like, watch out for that first stall. And she had the same reaction as you. Like, what? How does that happen? We were trying to figure it out. And I lift up my foot, and there's still blood on my shoe.
Is so fucking gross.
I had someone's vagina leakage all over the bottom of my foot. I was like, this is a biohazard. What the fuck?
Did you like retrace your steps and see blood prints, like in footprints, coming to your fucking office? Because then you're going to look like the culprit.
Well, the footprints stopped in the bathroom. Like, I kept smushing my foot around until they stopped.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I thought it was all gone. I didn't think to look at my shoe. But so we're in my office, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like stepping this fucking period blood all over my carpet. Like, ew, 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 get it off my foot. And so I have Clorox wipes in my desk, but I was all out. But my fucking office roomie has some, and I knew where they were at, so I totally like broke into his desk and I grabbed a couple and I threw it on the floor, and I stepped on it, and my coworker was like, I swear to fucking God, if you pull your foot away and it's bloody, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. And I picked my foot up, and it was like smeared in blood.
Those shoes are garbage. You need to throw those away.
That's what they're here right now on your foot. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, you brought that shit in my house.
I was like, when I go home, I'm fucking taking these shoes off at the door. Like, that is so gross.
That is so gross.
I forgot to. But this happened at like the beginning of the day. So I'm sure I like scuffed it off as I walked along. But you're right. But here's the fucking kicker. It happened 2 more times.
What?
Like, I didn't step in it.
Is someone at your office like a newly born female? Or
I know their fucking cycle. I'll tell you that much. Because it's not chunky anymore. So they must be coming towards the end of it.
That is fucking gross. Right? How does a person not know how to deal with that at this stage in their life? Like, they're an adult. They work at a fucking place. They have a job. They're an adult.
Listen, I get like accidents happen, whatever. I've never had that level of an accident happen. But like, you wipe it up then. And there's no way you're missing it. But
that
even
is disgusting.
Up till yesterday, so Friday, I walked into a stall and there was blood all over the floor. And I was like, are you fucking serious?
How?
I don't know.
Girls are fucking garbage.
And she hit up multiple stalls. Like, it wasn't just the first one.
Yeah, you got it, because that one had blood in it.
Yeah, I got to go to a different one. All I want to say is thank fuck for janitors. Like, they do not get enough fucking street cred.
God's work. They don't get paid enough.
No.
Not for shit like that. That's human fucking waste.
Oh, my God.
Well, goddamn, that's awful.
I'm fucking traumatized.
Did you burn the shoes?
No, I still have them.
Gross.
Yep. I mean, I Cloroxed them, and then I scuffed them up in the dirt. And you have to remember, I used to be a caregiver, so I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
Just as really gross when you're stepping in someone else's period blood.
Slipping around in it.
Like, goddamn fucking murder slip and slide in there.
That is so gross. Well, my goddamn's way less exciting
Intense.
than... Yeah.
Give me your goddamn Aaron.
My kid told my husband, no, Daddy, shut up.
Oh, what? And he's still alive?
Yeah. I was like, no. And that was the first time that I like, you definitely can't laugh. But he used it in like the appropriate context and everything. Like, it was so bad.
Oh, no.
We couldn't laugh. And I had to tell him, like, no, that's mean. You can't say that. And then he just looked so sad. And then it made me realize my kid goes to daycare. And I think that's where he figured it out or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But, like, I don't say shut up to my husband.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, some other kids' parents say
Taught
that.
their kid that.
Yeah. Or say it
that's
to their
sad
kid
if
or
you think about
something.
it like that.
Yeah, it made me like go down this whole dark rabbit hole and where I'm like, other kids' parents are going to have an effect on my kid, and how other parents treat their kids is going to have an effect on my kid.
Just because they interact. Isn't that crazy?
Exactly. Like, it's a whole fucking circle of life shit going on.
Oh, man. Isn't it crazy?
But I felt so bad for him because you could tell, like, he said a thing and was like, hell yeah, I said it right.
Yeah.
And I did, like, it was in the right context and he enunciated it. And I was just like, oh shit, no.
This is one you can say.
Yeah.
Well, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
He'll grow up to be a respectable human being.
Hopefully. That's all I can hope. All right. Welcome to episode 36.
Oh, yeah. The intro.
That's
Glad we
right.
got that out of the way.
And there it went, guys. You want to hear about some murder?
That's what I come here for.
It is literally why you come to my house.
Legitimately. Never been here so many times until we started a podcast.
Exactly. All right, lady.
Okay, give it to me.
All right. Well, my story today is about Andre Chikatilo.
Chikatilo. All right, Andre. Andre. Where the hell is my chiffon?
So, this story takes place in Russia.
Oh, Russia.
Where all the best fucking murders take place.
Seriously. No fucking joke.
Between 1978 and 1990.
Oh, shit. That's a big span.
Yeah, it's like 12 years of fucking murdering.
Yeah.
Side note, I didn't write down all of the victims' names because in my true fashion, I chose one with like fucking 56.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they're all Russian names. So I wrote down some of them.
The ones you could pronounce.
Mostly. The ones that I felt pretty confident about. But also that, like, there's a whole list online. You should go look at it and read them and memorize them because it's really sad, right?
Yeah. Go pay your respects.
Yeah, go pay your respects there.
But Erin's not paying them here because she doesn't want to try to say them all.
Also, I got to, like, page 7 and I was like, I can't say every single one. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I can't do this.
That's true. I'm sure everybody understands.
Yeah. And nobody's, like, gonna write them down.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
We send flowers. So
you don't know our listeners, maybe.
That's true. We do have really, really, really nice listeners.
Our fucking listeners are the best.
So maybe they would send flowers. So this guy was known as the Rostov Ripper or the Butcher of Rostov.
Ooh, Rostov.
Yes, or the Red Ripper. But
oh my god.
Yeah, he had a lot of names.
The Red River was strong in my office bathroom this week.
You did have a Red Ripper in your office. That is so fucking gross.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so this guy was born in 1936 in Ukraine, and he grew up super poor. His family would go without food. They lived in a one-room hut.
Oh, man.
Him, his dad, and his mom. He claimed to have not eaten bread until age 12.
Oh.
Which I just thought was
a claim to fame.
Yeah, like a weird fact. But also, I guess that would tell you how poor you are. I guess bread's expensive.
Is it? I would
know.
think bread is the only thing that you could eat. Maybe potatoes.
If you had access to bread.
Yeah.
But he would eat grass and leaves so that he didn't starve.
Oh my god, that's really sad.
Super fucking sad.
Oh, jeez.
Andre was told by his mom that before he was born, he had a brother that had been kidnapped and eaten by starving neighbors.
No!
When he was only 4 years old.
Is that a true story?
The police and whomever has looked into it has no proof that this brother ever actually existed.
But it's fucking Russia.
But it's fucking Russia. And also, nonetheless, I feel like a story like that would probably have some sort of negative effect on your child.
Yeah.
Like, fucking traumatizing.
Yeah, why would she tell him that?
I don't know, maybe to, like, keep him in line or just to be like, you think you're hungry?
Yeah.
You think you got it bad?
Our town was so hungry one time they ate your little brother.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Or older brother.
But, I mean, it's a lot of food. unless they're skinny. So,
Oh
that's
my
fucked
God.
up. Sorry. He was also in Ukraine during World War II and the Nazi occupation of Ukraine.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, when he was between like ages 5 to 9 was the war.
Those are some impressionable years.
Yeah, and his dad was drafted into the Red Army to fight against the Nazis. I had to look up because I was like, I know about World War II, and then all it was like the Red Army. He fought for fucking Ukraine, and I was like, what side was Ukraine on?
Where I don't know either, which is sad, but I'm really bad at history.
I took a fucking history of the Holocaust class, but I could tell you what happened during the Holocaust. But then when it comes to like the
Like any other part of the world other than like Germany.
well, even like the fighting part of it, like these
France.
people fought with these people. I'm like, I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
Because then it was like, oh, it was with the Soviet Union, and I'm like, and that is which one?
Huh? And I'm with you so far.
Yeah. Formerly Soviet Union, and now is the
It's the fucking tricky part, right? You're like, was it the USSR?
yeah.
I don't.
So then I feel super dumb, like Googling, like, what side did the Soviet Union, what side did the Red Army fight for? And everyone's like, they fought in World War II. And I'm like, yeah,
But
okay.
which side?
And they're like, the communists. And I'm like, was that them or not them?
Dude, you know everybody listening right now is having a fucking heart attack.
I know. But listen,
I was just going to say that.
I'm pretty.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say we're smart in other areas. Like, ask us a fucking math question or science question, and we're on it. Ask us history or geography, and we're like,
so bad.
I'm sorry, where? It's so fucking stupid.
Even like American geography, people are like,
I
oh, I'm
know.
from Tennessee. And I'm like, what coast is that on?
Oh my god, I'm sorry, everybody. We just really fucking sorry.
Listen, I can draw
She's pretty
pictures.
Yeah, you can draw pretty pictures.
Yeah. That's my job. I'm an artist. I don't have to be smart.
Yeah, I don't know what I bring to this table, but
You're
I'm
also
just
pretty. Don't worry.
stupid. All right. Anyway, back to the goddamn podcast.
Okay. Sorry for all of the tangents today.
I'm not.
We're feeling frisky.
Woo!
So, his dad went to fight for the Red Army, and he said he saw, quote, horrors.
Not horrors.
Not horrors. So, he had also witnessed bombings and fires and shootings, and him and his mom would have to hide in cellars and ditches from, like, the bombings and stuff.
Oh, that's so sad.
At one point, their hut was even burned down, and him and his mom watched that happen.
No.
So, since his dad was drafted into the army, Andre and his mom shared the bed in the one-room hut.
Uh-huh.
And he was a chronic bedwetter.
Aw, that's how they all start.
Yeah, that's one of the 3 fucking signs.
Yeah.
Some guy has some serial killer signs, and that's one of them.
Not to say if your baby is wet in the bed that they're going to be a serial killer, but...
No, but this is between the ages of 5 and 9.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and he had so many traumatic fucking events happen.
Exactly. Well, his mom didn't make it any better because... Instead of being like, oh, sweet baby, why are you scared? Or anything like that, she would beat him and ridicule him.
Oh, that's so sad.
So that probably made it worse.
Didn't help.
And then in 1943, Andre's mom gave birth to a little girl, but his dad was off at war.
Yes, that doesn't really add up.
Yeah, the math doesn't add up on that. But I guess many Ukrainian ladies were raped by German soldiers.
Ah.
So it's possible that that's how she got pregnant.
That's so sad.
If that's the possibility that we're going with, it was a 1-bedroom hut.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of.
And it's probable that he witnessed that rape.
Oh, God, and they shared a bed.
Ew, gross. Yeah.
If it happened on the bed.
I mean, I guess it could have been anywhere, but it was just a 1-room hut. Like, unless he
Anywhere
ran
in
out or
that
something.
hut.
I think seeing your mom get raped would be pretty psyche fucking.
Traumatic, yeah.
Yeah. So then in school, Andre was known to faint from hunger because they were poor.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Which,
I feel bad
how
for
we
this
met.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not exactly met, but how we became friends.
Yeah.
More friends.
Yeah, I was like,
Started
the
hanging
second
out more.
time.
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that was senior year.
Stacy fainted in the bathroom in high school.
Yep.
I'm just going to air out all your dirty secrets.
That's cool. It's not like I was doing drugs or anything cool.
No, she just was hungry.
I was so hungry. I didn't feel hungry. I was hypoglycemic.
Yeah. The nurse is like, did you eat? And you're like, chips.
That's all I ever fucking eat, bitch.
Yeah, I know, right?
And she's like, you have to eat something healthy. And I was like, they were Sun Chips.
That's pretty healthy. That has a biodegradable bag.
That was literally my response. And she was so fucking disappointed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Back to him fainting at school.
Back to him fainting
Andre.
at school, yeah. That obviously caused him to be bullied at school. But his teachers said that he was a really good student. And then at home, he didn't have it any easier because his mom was a total bitch. And those are my words.
Yep.
And him and his sister were constantly being berated by her.
Aw.
On the reverse side of that, though, their dad was really nice, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is not expected.
No, I didn't think so either. But, I mean, if you get enough bad stuff from one parent, it's bound to make an impression.
That's right.
Not to say that this whole thing is caused by the mom, but I mean, maybe, who knows?
But maybe she caused this whole thing.
I'm not a doctor. As we have fucking
or
established.
Geographist.
Yeah, I'm not that either.
That's not what they're called at all.
Not at all. So, when he was a teenager, he suffered from chronic impotence.
Oh, that's a sad thing to suffer from. I think we suffer from that too.
Isn't impotence not being able to get it up?
I was thinking incompetence.
Yeah. I was like, we don't suffer from that.
I suffer from that. Oh my god, wait, how old was he?
He was a teenager. So he's like going through puberty and he couldn't keep an erection.
How would you notice that?
I don't
I feel
know.
like you'd be like, this is a new thing. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So it didn't help his self-esteem, and then when he was 17, he jumped on an 11-year-old girl who was a friend of his little sister and, quote, wrestled her to the ground. And he came while she was struggling in his arms.
Ew.
Okay.
What? Did he have pants on? I have so many questions.
I imagine so.
And so he admitted this later in life?
Yeah.
He's
He
like,
admitted later.
I fucking wrestled a little girl and I jizzed in my pants.
Yeah,
Like, why?
he was like, he fucking tackled her and like wrestled her down and then was like, oh, thanks.
Oh my god. It's so weird that, I mean, obviously it made a lasting impression in his memory to recall this later on.
So when he was 19, he got into his first relationship with a 17-year-old girl, and they tried to bone on 3 separate occasions, and each time he couldn't keep it up. And so she ended up breaking up with him after 18 months, which, as a 19-year-old boy, like, that's gotta suck, you know? Like, they're trying to do it, and
like,
he
that's
wants
all
to do
I
it.
want in life.
Yeah, like, he's got the hormones to do it. Well, maybe not the hormones, but he's got the fucking...
Drive.
Yeah, the drive to do it, and his body is like, fuck you.
Oh, wow, that sucks.
So, then he was drafted into the Army in 1957 at the age of 21.
Oh, wow.
And when he finished his service, he went back to his hometown. He met a young lady back home, and they started dating, and they tried to have sexy time, but he couldn't keep his erection.
Yeah.
And so she asked her friends, like, for advice, just trying to, you know, I don't know, get a little help or something.
Yeah.
But that led to all of his friends knowing that he was impotent.
Aww.
Yeah. And so a quote from him later, he said, "Girls were going behind my back, whispering that I was impotent. I was so ashamed I tried to hang myself. My mother and some young neighbors pulled me out of the noose.
Oh my god.
Well, I thought no one would want such a shamed man, so I had to run away from there, away from my homeland."
Holy shit.
So, it's really fucking with this guy's life, right?
That's so sad.
Yeah. There's pills now, guys.
Yeah.
Don't murder.
Maybe.
This is obviously where this is going.
Yeah.
So then in 1963, he actually ended up marrying a lady named Feodosia,
Ooh.
who he had met through his little sister. And he was attracted to her, but he said that the marriage was basically like an arranged marriage by his sister and her husband.
Oh, okay.
Not entirely sure why, but
It's like
the
a
sister,
blind date, and they're like, it's convenient enough.
basically, yeah. And the sister was like, "I'm going to find you a nice lady." And he was just like, whatever. So they got married after 2 weeks of knowing each other.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they actually ended up having 2 kids.
Oh,
So you think-
So he eventually kept it up long enough.
Is that what you think?
Or she, like, scooped it in her hoo-ha. Or she had an affair.
He still wasn't able to maintain an erection.
Oh, no.
But him and his wife agreed that in order to have kids, that he would come and then push it inside her
I was right.
with his fingers.
I was right.
It grosses me out so much. Yeah, it worked, but it
It's
just
like-
grosses me out.
It's like the old-time turkey baster method.
You gotta scoop it. It's like, it's gonna drip down your palm.
Yeah.
I just can't.
And then you gotta shove it.
Oh, God. Like, it's not on the tip of your finger.
He
It's
held
gonna...
his child before the child was conceived.
Well, that's a beautiful thought.
I'll be here all day.
So, on that fucking creepy-ass note, he started teaching Russian language and literature. And he wasn't a great teacher because he was really shy, and the kids would take advantage of him and mock him.
We all had those teachers.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, can you get the goddamn class in order? This shit sucks.
Seriously. Like, I don't want to be here. It's just loud.
Yep.
In May of 1973, he was swimming with his students. And I don't know why they were swimming.
Oh.
Or what.
Summertime.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
So while he was doing that, he grabbed a 15-year-old girl and he groped her. He was grabbing her breasts and her hoo-ha, and she was struggling against him, like, get the fuck off of me.
Oh my god, ew.
And he came.
No! In the pool? Gross. First of all,
a pond. I'm not sure where it was. Like, I could have been outside in a swimming hole.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the same fucking water as somebody else's jizz. But wait a minute, now I have a complex. Like, fucking...
Like, how many men have jizzed in the pools that you've been in?
And, like, it gets in your mouth sometimes, the water.
Oh, gross.
You know, when you're, like, swimming and you're, like, you spit it out.
Okay, well, you know, like, the creepy guy that stands outside of, like, little kids' T-ball or whatever, and he's just, like, diddling himself?
No.
I just saw a video of one recently. But it wasn't a little kid's T-ball.
Like, that happened to me all the time.
Is that not normal? It was, like, a high school track.
Fucking gross.
Or something. Yeah.
He was, like, playing pocket pool?
No, he had it out.
Stop
And he was just, like, fucking going at it.
Oh, my God. Like a gorilla?
Yeah, like...
She did the gorilla movement.
He was standing by a tree, and he was just like, oh. And someone was filming it, and so I watched that video.
Who the fuck was like, okay, I get filming it, but then were you like, dude, stop it?
Well, they called the cops.
Ew.
And then they filmed it, and then the cops came, and when he heard the sirens, he ran, and he wasn't caught.
No.
Yeah, but I feel like that guy would totally jizz in a pool.
Yeah, I hope I'm never in a pool with that guy.
Well, I mean, what if that guy's been in the pool before you?
Ugh, gross.
I mean, chlorine will kill it, but it's still there.
I'm so traumatized right now.
I know. But I feel like pools are probably all right. Like, no one's came in a private pool, unless it's the homeowners. The homeowners have probably come in their private pools.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you swim in someone else's pool...
I bet every pool has fucking jizz in it.
Every pool has jizz in it,
Oh my God.
It's a new revelation.
Fuck that. Gross. So no, you can't get pregnant because I've never gotten pregnant from swimming in somebody's pool.
At any rate...
My God.
A few months after that incident... He locked a girl in his classroom, and he sexually assaulted her.
No.
And he wasn't punished for either of these incidences.
Oh, my God.
All of them.
All of those.
Even other teachers saw him touching himself while the students were around, and nothing happened. Like, they were like, what the fuck, bro? And he was like, sorry.
I was just going to ask, like, no one reported it or no one knew, but I guess
yeah, people
they knew.
reported it.
Oh, my gosh.
So apparently this is also like a boarding school because one of his responsibilities was to check and make sure that the students were in their dorms in the evening.
Oh, God. That's the worst responsibility for him.
For a fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
And so he was obviously known to go into the girls' dorm and, like, I don't know if he would, like, bust in, but he would try and see them naked.
Oh,
so
my God!
Trying to catch them unawares.
Unawares.
So there were a bunch of complaints about him at this point by the students. And so finally the director of the school was like, yo, come in, let's have a meeting and talk about this.
Yeah.
And the director asked him to resign. And so he did, and he got a teaching job at another school.
Like, good.
Fucking right after that.
Why
he was
does
like,
this
sorry,
always happen?
deuces, and then went to another school. I don't know how that director wasn't like, hey, other school that you're now working at.
Don't let him work there.
Here's some things. Maybe he shouldn't be around kids.
He jizzes in pools.
So, fortunately, he lost that other job due to
good.
cutbacks. And then, unfortunately, he found another job as a teacher, like right
damn.
after. So, fucking a lot of schools are just like, yeah, man, come on in. You seem like a totally solid guy.
Yeah, I like you. I don't know why, but I like you. Come
Yeah,
here.
you seem like you might touch kids.
But I'm okay with it.
Come on in.
Stupid.
So his teaching career finally ended in March of 1981 after several students came forward with child molestation charges against him.
I'm so happy everybody's coming forward about it, and I'm very disappointed that it takes several before anything happens.
Seriously. And, like, the ones that came forward before in the other school, he was just like, resign, please.
Yeah.
With no fucking recourse to you.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Super.
So he's not a teacher anymore, and he
Okay.
became a supply clerk, and that job would allow him to travel around the Soviet Union, formerly known as. On December 22nd, 1978, Andre committed his first murder.
Uh-oh.
He lured a 9-year-old girl named Yelena to his house that he had secretly bought, and he tried to rape her, but he couldn't get it up. So he strangled her, and he stabbed her 3 times in the stomach.
Oh, my God.
And while she was struggling,
No.
he came.
Ew. That's fucking awful. Why? Like, I knew the story was going to go towards murder, but why fucking 9 and then jizz involved? Come on,
Two
man.
worst things.
Come
Children
on.
and jizz.
Lord.
I know. It's actually really bad. Really bad.
Okay,
So
probably
should have put
you're
this
just
warning at the
setting
beginning.
a little pretense for what we're about to get into.
yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah. Super dick, right?
Ugh.
So then he threw her body into a nearby river, and she was found 2 days later. And there was like a shit ton of evidence against him in regards to her murder,
oh my
right?
God.
There was blood in the snow outside of his secret house, and neighbors told police that he had been there that night. So they're like, yeah, he was fucking there when this girl got murdered, and there's her blood outside of his house.
Jesus.
Yelena's backpack was found at the end of the street at the edge of the river, which indicated that that was where she had been thrown in, which is like right fucking there to his house.
Oh my God. He's not good at this.
No.
But it doesn't matter, I guess.
I guess not. And neighbors also said that they saw a man matching his description walking with Yelena from the bus stop where she was last seen alive.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
So, like, fucking in the bag, right? All this
Yeah.
evidence against him.
Yeah.
And even with all of that, a 25-year-old man named Alexander Kravchenko was arrested for the murder
What?
because in his teens he had raped and murdered a girl. Who knows how he was out? Like, I don't know why he was out of prison.
If they knew that he raped and murdered a girl?
Yeah, like, he went to prison for rape and murder, which another thing I read later, I'll talk about it a little bit, is that their maximum sentence, like, for murder even, was 15 years.
Oh, shit.
Like, if you didn't get death, you got 15 years.
Wow.
So,
What
I mean,
the
he's
fuck?
25 now.
What?
So, I mean, maybe he didn't get the full 15. I don't
You
know.
can't rape at 10.
I think you can. So, in the search of Alexander's home, they found blood on his wife's jumper, and DNA was able to determine that the blood type matched Yelena
Really?
and Alexander's wife. Because all they could do was blood types.
Oh, okay.
and
Got
so it's probable that she had cut herself while wearing her own jumper
it. Yeah.
and gotten her own blood on
Yeah.
her own clothes
Got it.
in her own home.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
it also could have been Yelena's.
Oh, God.
And Alexander also had a really good alibi. He was with his wife and her friend all day, and the neighbors were able to verify that he had been at his home that night.
Oh, my
So-
gosh. So he wasn't doing the murdering.
He wasn't doing the murdering, but police were able to threaten the wife and friend into turning on him and saying that he didn't get home until much later in the evening.
Oh, that's so sad. Just so that they could, like, seal the deal and be done.
Mm-hmm. And so since his alibi was ruined, he confessed to the murder because he's like, I mean, you'll get less sentence if you confess to it, I guess.
Like, not death, maybe?
Yeah. And he later retracted his confession, but he was still convicted and he was sentenced to death. It was later shortened to 15 years, which was the max at the time, like I talked about.
Yeah.
But Yelena's parents wanted justice, and they thought, the police were
did
telling
it.
him that this is the guy that killed your daughter.
Yeah.
So they were able to get him retried, and he was sentenced to death again and executed in July of 1983.
Oh, my God.
And remember, this guy wasn't innocent. He had raped and murdered another girl in the past.
Yeah, but still.
But also, he was innocent of this crime that he
Yeah.
got executed for.
Yep.
So, now we go back to Andre.
Okay.
Now that he had murdered someone, the only way that he could get off was by stabbing women and children to death.
No.
Fucking gross.
Super gross. I mean, he was able to get off before some sort of way, so just stick to
Yeah.
that sort of way.
Right? Like, just come in your hand and shove it in a person. Your
Yeah.
wife, preferably.
Yeah.
If she's cool with it.
Yeah.
Which
Sounds
apparently
like the
she was.
ultimate assault, just like fucking
absolutely
shoving
does.
jizz in people.
It sounds so gross. So, he later said that he had the urge to relive the experience, and it was overwhelming, and that he had originally tried to resist the urges, but he eventually just gave in to them.
Ew.
So, on September 3rd, 1981, which was almost 3 years after Yelena, Andre was leaving a library when he saw a 17-year-old girl named Larissa at a bus stop. He got her to go with him to a nearby forest under the guise of,
No.
like, let's go drink and relax.
Don't do it.
I have vodka. And when they got into the forest, he tackled her and tore off her clothes and tried to rape her.
No.
But he couldn't get it up.
Of course.
So he
You should know this
shoved
by now.
mud in her mouth
Ew.
to muffle her screaming.
Yuck.
And then he beat and strangled her to death. And he didn't have, like, a weapon on him other than a stick. So he mutilated her with said stick
Whoa.
and his teeth. He bit a nipple off her
No.
body.
No.
Off.
No.
Off.
No.
That's fucking gross.
What?
Then he covered her body with leaves, branches, and newspaper. Like,
What?
kind of half-heartedly was just like,
Where do you get the newspaper
put
from?
this shit over there. I don't know. Maybe it was, like, in his coat pocket. Maybe it was on the ground. I mean, you're in a forest.
In the woods, yeah.
I found porn in a forest before. Not a forest. up
You
on the
almost
hill.
got murdered.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Yeah.
Did he do anything with the nipple, or did he just bit it off and like spit it off?
I'll
Spit
tell
it
you
out?
all about what he did with the nipple after this.
Ew, he made a coin purse. That's so gross.
He spits it out into his hand. Keep this for later. That's not what he did.
Oh my god.
So she was found the next day,
Oh, poor thing.
and then June 12th, 1982, which was only 9 months later, Andre was traveling for work, and he was taking the bus, and then at a certain point, he decided that he would walk the rest of the way.
Uh-huh.
And so while he was leaving the bus stop, he saw a 13-year-old girl named Lyubov, and she was walking home alone. So then, when they were out of sight from any passerbys, he tackled her
Oh
and
my God.
dragged her into some nearby bushes. So that's the fucking quintessential guy walking behind you at a bus stop, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're just walking home, and
Nope.
there's a guy behind you, like 6 paces back on the fucking sidewalk.
No!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
He stabbed her to death, and she was found on June 27th. She had 22 knife wounds. She was stabbed and slashed in the head, neck, chest, and pelvic region.
Oh my god!
The medical examiner also said that there was damage to the back of her skull, indicating that she had been attacked from behind, probably from the handle of the knife.
Oh shit.
So, like, I don't know if he tried to, like, knock her out when
Yeah.
he tackled her.
Oh my god.
And she had several striations on her
Whoa.
eye sockets.
What does that mean?
That means that she had, like, knife cuts on her eye sockets, like in the bones in her eyes.
Inside her eye?
Yeah.
Were her eyes stabbed out?
I'll tell you now because
Okay.
it's
Relevant
fucking
to our conversation.
relevant to right now. Yeah, is
Uh-huh.
that he did gouge out eyes. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awful. I hope she was dead when it happened. That's so fucking terrifying.
I hope that she was as well.
Oh
And
my
actually, I
God.
think that her eye sockets were gouged out and that they saw,
Ew.
like, the knife marks on it.
Ew.
On the eye sockets.
Okay, just for the record, it's my job to tell the gory stories.
I know, I'm sorry. I hope yours isn't bad today because this one's a fucking doozy.
Oh, that is a doozy.
So after this murder, he didn't bother trying to resist his urges anymore.
Okay.
And Billy-
I don't feel like he was really resisting then, but okay.
He went like 3 years and then 9 months. So I mean, like,
So,
those are
willpower.
Good, those are good gaps. Trust me.
Oh my god, okay.
So then, between July and September of 1982, he killed 5 more kids, aged
Oh.
9 to 18, and they were boys and girls.
That's so sad.
His victims were generally children. They were runaways and young homeless people at bus stops
Oh man.
and train stations. And he would lure them into nearby forests under the pretenses of hanging out or showing them a shortcut,
Uh-huh.
or being like, "Hey, check out my sweet stamp collection." Like,
What?
he had a whole fucking arsenal of shit that he would say, like, to lure these kids away.
Oh my god.
And then he would overpower them, tie them up with their hands behind their backs, and stuff mud into their mouths in an attempt to keep them quiet.
Ew.
He would usually stab them,
Oh.
and he would also eviscerate them,
Oh.
which is like fucking cutting them, their whole belly open and getting their bowels out.
Like disembowel.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
Some were also strangled or beaten to death, and most had mutilation to the eye sockets caused by knives.
This guy was like intense.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
was he like getting off every time he did this?
Yeah. Yeah, there was like semen found on some of their clothing and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Ew, ew, ew.
The adult victims that he did have were usually prostitutes or homeless women, and he would get into secluded areas with the promise of alcohol.
Uh-huh.
He would try to bone him, but would be unable to get it up or keep an erection.
Why does he even try? Like, we all know. You can't
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be like, this is obviously sexually stimulating for him.
Yeah.
So he's probably like aroused, but he's not physically aroused. Like, I don't.
Weird.
I don't know the connection there.
Yeah.
But there has to be one. There's just like a misfiring to his dick. But not being able to keep it up, he would get really mad, and some of the women even allegedly mocked him for being impotent.
Oh, shit.
Because they're like prosties, right?
Yeah.
And so then they'd be like, you're not going to do anything.
Plus, you're being all roughed up and shit, yeah.
Yeah. And so that would make him go fucking batshit crazy and
God.
send him into a rage. And then he would only reach orgasm when he was stabbing them.
Jesus.
He would lazily try to cover the body. Like, he'd put no real effort into it. He
Well,
didn't
he's all
actually
sleepy.
care.
He just came.
Right? He's like, I have to go do this now. But it was like he didn't care if they were found or not.
Yeah. Well, clearly he was jizzing all over the crime scene. Like, he wasn't trying to hide anything.
Yeah, but it was the 80s.
I know. You do that now and your shit's fucked.
Oh, you do that now and they're like, we have your address.
Yeah.
So on December 11th of 1982, he saw a 10-year-old girl at a bus stop named Olga, and he convinced her to leave the bus stop with him, and when she was found, she had been stabbed over 50 times.
Holy fuck.
He had ripped open her chest and pulled out her bowels and uterus.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
From her chest?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
well,
like
it's another evisceration, but he had
Jesus.
like ripped open her chest. He had like from her throat to her genitals.
Holy
Cut her open.
shit.
And
Ew, her uterus. Do you think he knew what it was?
I do, and I'll tell you why later.
Oh, no, I don't think I want to know.
He had also gouged out her eyes. And someone at the bus stop saw her leaving with a middle-aged man matching Andre's description.
Yeah.
And so then in January of 1983, police started a task force because they were now like, okay, we have a fucking serial killer, right?
Yeah, and
like,
it's fucking Andre.
Yeah, right? Like, let's get this shit under control. And so then in June of 1983, he murdered a 15-year-old girl named Laura. And by September, he had killed 5 more people.
Oh, my
So that's
God.
only like 3 months later.
Jesus.
At this point, most of the victims had the same type of wounds. Like, he was eviscerating them and then stabbing them and gouging out their eyes, which is fucking brutal.
Yeah, he
like,
definitely has a technique.
yeah.
And he's going for it, full-fledged.
Police were thinking that due to the savagery of the murders, that they were dealing with either a satanic cult or perhaps someone trying to harvest organs. So they're like, just a dude wouldn't do this.
But were, like, organs ever missing? Other than the nipple?
No, I don't think so. Well, tongues.
Oh!
Tongues go missing later,
Gross.
which I'll tell you about later.
Yeah, that's not an organ you harvest.
I don't think so either. Like,
Yeah.
my tongue doesn't taste bacon as well as it should. Give me a new one.
I need a new one.
So the profile of the killer that they had was a mentally ill person, perhaps homosexual, a pedophile, obviously.
Yeah.
And they checked psych wards and alibis of convicted pedophiles and homosexuals, which I don't know why they have homosexuals on a fucking register.
Yeah, it's because it was the fucking 80s.
But yeah, in Russia and so
Mother
they're like,
Russia,
or
yeah.
Ukraine, Soviet Union, wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So police started interrogating young men and even had a few people confess to the murders.
What?
Because they were subjecting them to long and brutal interrogations, and so the confessions were coerced.
Yeah.
3 gay men and a convicted sex offender even committed suicide because of the allegations against them.
That's so sad.
So that's 5 people that have died so far. Like, everyone's innocent, but have died because of being
This guy's acts.
blamed, for it. On the plus side, because of the investigations, more than 1,000 unrelated crimes, including 95 murders and 245 rapes, were solved.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So they were really trying.
Yeah, they were like, I guess we can't find the murderer to that one, but we found this guy, right?
That makes me think they weren't really trying before.
No, it doesn't seem like it, right?
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
they're like, fuck, we have a serial killer. The
All
boss
right,
is
guys.
really expecting results.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, look alive.
So, as they were getting these false confessions, they kept discovering bodies, proving those confessions to be false.
Uh-huh.
And then on October 30th, 1983, police found the body of a 19-year-old sex worker named Vera. She had been eviscerated, She had died 3 days earlier. Her eyes, however, had been left alone.
Interesting.
So police were like, wasn't our guy, right? Like, they were connecting a lot of them to him, but not all of them, because they're like, it wasn't exactly the same,
It
right?
didn't match the profile perfectly.
Yeah. So then on December 27th, a 14-year-old boy was found murdered by a train station, and he had been castrated and stabbed and slashed at least 70 times.
Holy shit, these are like personal.
Yeah. Well, that's how he gets off, is by stabbing.
Oh my god.
So he had also been eviscerated. In early 1984, Andre killed 2 ladies and a 10-year-old boy named Dimitri. When he was bringing the boy to a secluded area, he was even seen by several people who gave police detailed descriptions of him.
Naturally.
And when police found the body, they also found a footprint from the killer and semen and saliva on the boy's clothes. Which I'm sure that they had semen samples from other ones as well, but this one was like noted. So I think in the end they ended up finding like 14 different samples of semen from different.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's probably jizz on every crime scene.
I think there was. I think there's just all around those crime scenes.
Yeah.
So then, May 25th, 1984, Andre killed a lady named Tatiana and her 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, no.
He had actually known Tatiana years before he had killed her.
Holy fuck.
Didn't say how he knew her.
Yeah.
But also, how fucking terrifying. Because he'd be like, oh, that's Andre. He's so nice.
Andre.
What's going on, man?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you're a lady, and you have a 10-year-old daughter. Those are my 2 favorite things.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What a fucking creep.
So he continued killing people using the same MO, and then in the summer of 1984, his work accused him of stealing and asked him to resign, but he refused and denied the allegations, and so he was fired. He started getting more sadistic in the killings, where he would mutilate and disembowel them per usual, but he also started inflicting wounds that wouldn't be immediately fatal to keep them alive and torture them.
Oh, my God, that's awful.
One instance of this was a girl who was found with her upper lip cut off.
Ew.
And shoved in her mouth.
What?
What the fuck?
What?
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. In the end, Andre confessed to 56 murders and was linked to at least 53, but I'm not sure what the count we're at is now.
Yeah.
Like right now in my storyline.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not naming them all, but he's fucking going through people like crazy.
Yes, he is. I can't believe the number's that high and it took them that long to catch him when he's leaving like jizz and footprints and stuff all over goddamn crime
And he's not
scenes.
even trying to like cover it up or anything.
No, he just like throws a couple leaves over him.
Yeah.
And his fucking bite marks are everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So in September 13th of 1984, Andre was seen by an undercover detective trying to talk to a couple of young ladies at a bus station. And they followed him and saw him trying to talk to another young lady. And he matched the description of the man they were looking for, so they arrested him at a market.
Good.
He was searched, and they found an 8-inch knife,
Oh, shit.
rope, and a jar of Vaseline on him.
Ew.
Yeah. Since he was being investigated for allegedly stealing from his job, the police were able to hold him for a bit longer than normal.
Yeah.
And they took a sample of his blood, and he was type A. And then 6 of the victims at this point
Yeah.
had been found with testable semen on them, and it turned out to be type AB, and so he was released for the murders. He was sentenced to a year in prison for theft in regards to his job allegations, and he served 3 months and was released.
Son of a bitch. But during those 3 months, there were no murders, right?
Nope.
Bum, 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 bum.
Weird, right? Coincidence.
Yeah. How odd.
So after he got out of prison, he didn't kill again until August 1st, 1985. So that's almost a year later.
Okay, so he was like, oop, they're on to me.
Yeah, like, I'm going to cool it for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So he had gotten a new job at a locomotive factory and was on a business trip to Moscow. And he met an 18-year-old lady named Natalia at a train station.
Uh-oh.
And he lured her into a nearby woods and stabbed her 38 times and then strangled her to death.
Damn it.
Police thought that their serial killer had flown to Moscow, so they checked all the air travel, but they obviously missed him because he had taken the train for his locomotive company.
Son of a bitch.
Which, by the way, is a bit weird that they didn't think to check the train stations and stuff, seeing as most of his victims came from bus stops and train stations.
Yeah.
You would think they'd be like, this guy travels by train or
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah, he's always around these
frequently
stations.
But no, you're going to check the air. Like,
God damn it.
whatever, right?
Also, you had this guy and you suspected him, and then you released him, and then it starts happening again.
Yeah.
And
but it
you
starts
know
happening
he works
again,
for
like, later. So they're like, maybe it was just a coincidence.
Yeah, but you know he works for a fucking locomotive company.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it.
So 4 weeks later, he killed another girl back in his hometown. So he's like, oh, I'm just going to get back right on this train, right? And the police started staking out the train stations and bus stops again. And the profile of the killer now was expanded to say that they believed the man they were looking for was between 45 and 50 years old. He had a bad childhood and was bad at talking to and flirting with women. And they've also gathered that he was impotent and would only orgasm if the victim was in pain and suffering.
Uh-huh.
Which is fucking all spot on so far.
Yeah, yeah.
They're also starting to realize that his job requires him to travel. And so, like, they start looking into the trains more.
Yeah.
All this time, Andre was following the cases in the newspaper and trying not to murder anyone, supposedly.
Oh, my God.
And he succeeded at that for almost a year.
Uh-huh.
And then on August 18th, 1986, he killed another victim named Irina. She was 18, and he slit her body open from her neck to her genitals.
No.
One of her breasts was removed.
The whole thing?
I guess.
That's so weird.
And her eyes were cut out.
Ugh.
This time, he made a decent effort to try to conceal the body, and police also considered that this might be why they believe that he had stopped for almost a year, because maybe he was just hiding the bodies better.
Oh, so it's not that he had really stopped. It's just they weren't finding him.
Yeah, maybe. In 1987, he had killed at least 3 more victims while on business trips, and none of these murders were linked to the serial killer in his hometown. Like, nothing was linked back to...
Oh, okay. They thought they were separate.
Yeah, they thought they were completely separate events.
Even though they have all the same fucking Hallmark signs.
Fucking exactly. So then in 1988, he killed 3 more times, an unidentified woman and 2 boys in May and July.
Aww.
The woman was lured off a train and had her hands bound behind her back. Her mouth had been stuffed with dirt and mud, and he had cut her nose off her face.
Oh.
He cut her neck multiple times and then beat her to death with a slab of concrete.
Holy shit.
And she was linked to the other murders because of the knife wounds.
Not the mud in her mouth?
Yeah, right? And so were the other 2 boys.
Oh, that's so sad.
So then in 1989, he killed a 16-year-old girl in his own daughter's apartment.
What?
While she wasn't there.
Jesus.
He dismembered her and hid her body in the sewer.
Ew.
But police didn't link her murder to the others because of the dismemberment and disposal. Like, it was a totally different way to do it.
My God.
Then he killed 4 more victims, and the police put up cameras in several of the trains and train stations.
Yeah.
And then in January 1990, he murdered an 11-year-old boy named Andre, which I was like, dude,
what the hell?
That's your namesake. Yeah.
Oh. Jinx.
And a 10-year-old boy named Yaroslav. He emasculated and eviscerated them, and police put a large presence at the train stations that they were hoping would discourage the killer. Like, fucking police officers in police uniforms at the train stations. Yeah. And they also put undercover police at smaller train stations in an attempt to, like, trap him into killing or striking at one of those stations.
Okay.
And they're like, we're gonna fucking catch someone, right?
Yeah, we gotta get this guy.
Yeah. On October 30th, police found the body of a 16-year-old boy at one of the stations. He had been strangled and stabbed 27 times and castrated. He had the tip of his tongue severed, and his left eye was stabbed.
Ew.
He had been killed 10 days before the start of the police presence at the train stations.
Oh, shit.
And then that same day that his body was found, Andre lured a 16-year-old boy named Victor off a train from a station that was being manned by police.
Oh, my God.
And he was able to go unnoticed and kill the boy in a forest.
Holy shit.
And then on November 6th, 1990, Andre killed a 22-year-old lady named Svetlana, and he left her body in woodlands near a train station. And then when he went back up to that train station, police saw him go up to a well and wash his hands and his face.
Uh-huh.
And they noticed that he had grass stains and dirt on his clothes and his elbows.
Oh, my God.
And he also had what appeared to be a red streak on his cheek.
Dun, 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 dun.
And a deep cut on his finger.
Oh, shit.
Police checked his papers but had no reason to arrest him.
Oh, no.
But they noted the incident. So, like,
Yeah.
we talked to this guy. Let's write him down, right?
And were they like, oh, this guy was suspected of murder before?
So, on November 13th, they found Svetlana's body. And she was the 36th victim that police were linking to this killer. Which, like, we know there are many more that they didn't link at this time.
Yeah.
But they checked the records from people stopped during that time that she would have been abducted and killed, and Andre's name was on the list.
Oh, shit.
He had also been questioned back in 1984 and was a suspect on a list in 1987. So they're like, all right, this guy's popped up 3 times now.
I think we have a clue.
Yeah, this is fucking fishy.
Yeah.
So police check his employment history and were able to link him to the locations of several of the murder victims that were out of town.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they also learned about his sexual assault complaints against him when he was a teacher.
Uh-huh.
So they're like, this is all fucking coming together.
This picture is happening.
Yeah, we've got a pedophile. He's at all the right places, or the wrong places.
Yeah.
But,
At the right time.
yeah, and he's been talked to like he's acted fishy. He looks fishy.
Yeah.
So then he was put under surveillance, and he was seen at train stations approaching young ladies and children. And he was arrested on November 20th, and when police strip searched him, they noticed that one of his fingers had been severely bitten by a human.
Oh, shit.
His bone was broken, like his
Ew.
knuckle,
Ew.
and his fingernail was bitten off.
Ew. And he was just cruising around town like that, huh?
Yeah, he never went to the hospital because then they'd be like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do some murdering.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to get murdered.
Yeah, and they said no, and I was like, no, but please.
But come on.
So then a sample of his blood was taken, and his blood came back as type A again.
Uh-huh.
But I guess your semen's blood can be different blood type than your normal blood
Oh, interesting.
because they took a sample of his semen, and it came back as AB. So that was the whole
Interesting.
fucking reason that he got off before.
Yeah, it was because his blood type didn't match.
Yeah. But
That's
his
interesting.
semen type matches, which, I don't know. I find it so weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So Andre confessed to 34 of the 36 murders that they were accusing him of,
Uh-huh.
and he gave full descriptions of the crimes.
Why not just confess to all of them? Or is he like, I don't remember that one?
I don't know. Yeah, like why 34 of the 36? He's like, no, I definitely didn't kill that person.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like they accidentally linked him
Oh, maybe.
to like, it was like an old guy, and he's like, that's not my MO.
Yeah.
So he said that he would typically inflict a multitude of knife wounds to the victim, starting shallow in the chest area and eventually going deeper,
Oh, no.
usually 30 to 50,
No.
before he would eviscerate them while orgasming.
Oh, my God.
He would stay by the victim until they died
Oh, my God.
and said that their cries gave him relaxation and a certain pleasure.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah. So when he was asked why he gouged out their eyes, he said that there was like an old Russian fucking wives' tale or something, that basically he believed that the image of a murderer is imprinted on the eyes of the victim.
Okay.
And so he wanted to cut it out so that the police didn't have an image of him.
Oh, okay. I was like, but their brain could still hold that image when they're dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Like he
okay.
wasn't taking it away from them as like
It was
a
taking
you're
away
welcome.
from like the police finding him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like, why would you only do one eye?
Well, in the end, he didn't believe that anymore, and so he stopped gouging out their eyes. And like, I think you're thinking of where he just stabbed one of them in the eye.
Yeah, like the
Yeah. Yeah,
little boy. Where he
yeah,
cut
yeah.
his tongue off or something, I think,
Yeah,
and then stabbed
yeah.
him in the left eye.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
This is a fucking like spot on reenactment.
Listen, I am engaged.
Yeah. But I think that was after, and so maybe he just stabbed him in the eye.
And then halfway
stab him
through,
in the
he's
eye.
like, "Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. It's
Yeah,
just an old wives' tale."
yeah, or he like was just stabbing to be like, "Fuck you," right?
Ugh, God, that's awful.
So he also admitted to tasting their blood,
Of course.
and he said that he would cut or bite off the tongue of his victims as he eviscerated them.
How? To bite off a tongue, you have to like suck it up like a noodle or something in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know how you get someone else's tongue in your mouth.
If they don't want it,
Yeah,
it's a muscle.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, especially biting it. Like,
I don't know.
remember that guy that couldn't bite that guy's dick off?
Yeah. Armin Maivis?
Yeah, I feel like a tongue would be harder to bite off than a dick.
Yeah.
Especially with teeth in the way. I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
My tongue's long, though, so it'd be easier to bite my tongue off.
Yeah, but if you were getting murdered, you're not going to be like, hey, fuck you.
No, yeah, I'd keep it in my mouth.
Yeah.
And I'd pull it away.
So, but while they were dying, he would run around their body while holding their tongue in the air.
What the fuck?
And he didn't say why he did that.
Just like a victory lap?
Yeah, he was just like...
fucking flag?
Yeah, sometimes I bite their tongues off, and I put it in my fucking hand, and I hold it in the air and run around their body. And I was like...
What?
Pardon?
Come again?
What are you talking about?
What?
So, you're not going to like this part either.
Okay.
I mean, not that you've liked any of it.
No, it's all fucking terrible.
He said that he chewed on the uterus and testicles of some of his victims, but that he discarded them after.
Why would you chew on that?
I don't know.
I can't imagine either of them are, like...
Savory?
Yes. I was going to say succulent.
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
They sound like they'd be leathery. I don't know why.
Testicles sound
I've never
like...
thought of this. I don't know why this is happening.
I don't know either. I feel like a uterus would just be like a liver, you know, like mushy kind of.
Really? I would think of it like a stomach or something. Because it's like a balloon, right?
Yeah, maybe like that.
My uterus is fucking wrecked from babies. So for sure don't eat mine.
Well, some of his victims were prostitutes. But the victim that had their uterus outside of their body was like a 9-year-old girl. So she probably didn't have a baby.
Oh, God. Okay.
Anyway.
On that note.
He said that he discarded the uterus and the testicles afterward.
Yeah.
But he admitted to eating nipples and tongues of some of his victims.
No. Raw?
Well, yeah, he's not cooking them.
I don't know. Fucking making us s'mores or something.
Yeah, I don't think you like brought him home to eat him. I think he was just like, bite the nipple off and I'm going to swallow
a little campfire.
Yeah, right.
Oh, gross.
So he was only charged with 36 murders, and he was eventually like, fuck it, and he came clean and confessed to 22 more murders.
How do they remember this stuff?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
He even showed police locations of some of the bodies that hadn't been discovered.
Wow.
So they're like, he said he killed fucking 56 people. He did it.
Jesus.
He was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
But he was deemed fit to stand trial.
Okay.
And so he was tried in April of 1992 with 53 counts of murder.
Wow.
And he was found guilty of 52 murders.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure why, but
okay.
He was sentenced to death for each.
Okay.
And he was executed on February 14th, 1994 with a gunshot wound behind his right ear. Also, the pictures of this guy are fucking horrific.
Are they?
They're so scary.
Ew.
I
feel like he has pointy teeth since he was doing so much like ripping and tearing of flesh.
Yeah. Yeah. He has fucking crazy eyes and like, I don't know. They're not pointy teeth, but there's like a lot of them and they're kind of little. I don't know. It was
little
weird.
goblin teeth?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Oh, God. I'm kind of excited for you to have to Google his name just to see all the crazy fucking pictures. He has crazy eyes. He has for sure crazy eyes.
So those will be on the website.
Yeah. God.
Am I going to see a lot of murder scenes?
No.
Okay. That's the worst part about putting those pictures up. Which, by the way, did we mention that in your one episode with that girl from the coffee shop, Samantha?
Yeah.
And I was looking for pictures to put up on the website, and her picture popped up, the dead one.
After you said that, I Googled it because I was like,
yeah,
I have to see it too.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I could see how they mistook her for being alive.
She looks alive, and she was there for 2 weeks.
She just kind of looks like shocked, like, Jesus Christ, why am I here?
I listened to another podcast. Crime Junkie covered it. Literally the same week we released ours.
Oh, no.
Crime Junkie did it.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that he sewed her eyes open for that picture.
Ew! I didn't know that. That's horrifying.
Isn't that so gross? Anyway,
oh, that's awful.
So, for anyone interested, Google it. I didn't put it on the website, but maybe I'll start like linking those kinds of pictures so that you could easily find it, but that you'll have to click on the link if you want to see it. Because I don't want to traumatize anyone.
Yeah, you won't get assaulted by dead body pictures, but you could click at your own risk.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
If I'm, like, willing to come across some of them.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Goddamn, am I right?
Goddamn, that was really fucking intense.
Yeah.
People are awful.
Yeah, they are. All right, Stacey, give me your story.
Okay, here it is. Coming at you hot.
Make it a happy one.
It's never going to be a happy one.
I know.
Our cases are all about murder.
We chose the wrong kind of podcast.
Someone gonna die. All right. So my story is about Randall Neese.
All right.
So in 1996, Randall, a.k.a. Randy, 30 years old, and Karen Neese was 26, and they were a husband and wife who lived in Fox Run Mobile Park in St. Charles County, Missouri.
Okay.
The two had just become new parents and had had a 4-week-old son.
Oh, had they?
Oh, they had. And the baby's name was Garrett.
Okay.
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Randy
I
was...
hope the baby lives. I don't
do
need
too.
this right now.
I do too.
Okay.
Based after the story that you just told us. Randy was ecstatic to be a new dad.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be a better father to his child than his father had been to him growing up.
Okay, that makes sense. Everyone wants to be better.
Yeah, than what they had. I guess Randy grew up in like a really rough house with parents who were often absent.
Ooh.
And it was like a totally normal thing for him and his brothers to come home from school, and none of the parents would be home, and the doors would be locked, so they'd have to go to their neighbor's house and ask for a fucking key to get into the goddamn house.
Listen. I've been
Was
there.
that your story too?
It's my life. I broke into this house more times than I can count.
Why didn't they just give you a key? You know, I don't want to make another key.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't have a key for a while. But they were like, we'll pick you up. And then they didn't. And so then I'd like, after, 6 hours of waiting, you're like, I'll just walk. And
Jesus
so then
Christ.
you walk home. And then you're like, they're not home yet because they get home at 5:30 or 6. And it's 3. So then I'd go to my neighbor's house. But it was like, because they were home from school too. And I would just play with them. Because I don't think they had a key either. I think my parents were crazy.
It's literally a miracle you're still alive right now.
It literally is, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it sounds like Randy had a similar childhood, but he had older brothers and shit, so, like, their house became, like, the place to hang out, and they'd, like, run gambling rings and shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We never had gambling rings, but I did have an older brother. He would boost me in the windows.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah. I hope this guy doesn't murder people.
Well, Randy had 2 other really close childhood friends growing up, and despite all the ruckus and shit that he grew up in, the 2 friends were so close that they helped keep each other out of trouble. Like, they were really active in church and all this other shit. So they were like the 3 musketeers, and they were super close, and they were good kids.
All right.
So one of the 2 close friends ends up dying in a car accident.
Oh, no.
And Randy takes it really, really hard, and he begins to abuse drugs and hang around the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And so he kind of turns into a little bit of a bad apple.
Okay.
And so Randy's history of drug abuse started to become a real problem with Karen after the baby was born.
Uh-huh.
Because she's like a new mom, and she's like, I don't need this around my kid.
Yeah,
whatever,
and I need
right?
fucking help here.
Yeah. Fucking, no, you can't go do blow. You got to wake up and get the baby. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So she was fed up with his shenanigans. And on March 22nd, 1996, Karen decided to go to her sister-in-law's house, and she took the baby with her.
Uh-huh.
And she wanted to just get away from Randy for a little bit and, like, go vent and bitch, you know?
Yeah.
So she goes over there, and they're, like, talking shit. So that night, she comes home, and Randy's home, and she tells him that she wants him to pack up his stuff and leave. They're over. Like, they're done. You're not coming around here with, with our baby, and you're high as fuck.
That's fucking valid.
Yep. Everything is valid.
Yeah.
But he doesn't leave that night. The couple go to bed in, like, separate rooms.
Yeah.
And he goes to sleep in their bedroom, and Karen falls asleep on the living room couch.
First of all,
That's fucked up.
that's reversed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the druggie should be on the couch.
Agreed.
But
You're going to agree more here in a minute because...
But also, if, like, my spouse that I was divorcing fell asleep in the bed, I wouldn't make the fight of getting them out of the bed to
Yeah.
go sleep on the couch. I'd just be like, fuck this guy. I'm going to sleep over here.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I just don't want to be next to you.
exactly. So I could see it.
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is flipped.
Yeah, it ain't right.
That ain't right.
Well, it's not right because early in the morning, Randy wakes up. I'm talking early, like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. And he decides to do some cocaine and get high.
Oh, start your day off right. Breakfast
Yeah.
of champions.
Yeah. And about an hour later, he decides that he's going to go wake up Karen. So for sure, she should have got to bed that night.
Yeah.
If you're going to be waking up this early and cruising around the goddamn house, fucking sleep on the couch.
Also, you're going to wake me up at 6 in the morning?
Get out of here.
If I have a newborn baby, either I, A, am already awake because of the baby, or B, need my goddamn precious sleep because of the baby, and I'll wake up when the
Seriously.
baby does. You
Fucking
don't get to
right.
wake me up.
No.
Fuck you.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he woke up at like 4 or something, because it's like around 5 in the morning that he wakes up Karen.
Oh. Yeah, no, I would cut a bitch.
I would fucking slice your throat open.
Yeah. And let the blood pour down.
Your body. We're not crazy. Okay, so he wakes her up, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, let's discuss our relationship issues.
Because I have some points now that I'm on fucking crack.
Yeah, I've got some points to make, and I'd like for you to hear them this fucking early in the morning. And Karen's like, no, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to you about this shit. Like, go away. You're high. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And he ignores the fact that she doesn't want to talk to him and decides that he's going to lay next to her on the couch and to continue to try to have this conversation with her. Really get the fuck out of the way. Like, don't try to lay on my couch when I'm laying on the couch. There ain't no room, first of all.
No, I hate that shit.
Second of all, I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
And now you're touching
Third of all,
me.
I don't want to be near you if I'm trying to divorce you.
Yeah. And then, like, claustrophobia. Ugh.
Yeah.
We're not sharing the goddamn couch.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So he starts trying to touch and grope her.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. And she gets pissed and shoves him off the couch. Like, get the fuck off me.
Yeah.
And
good.
He climbs back up on the couch with Karen and lays down and attempts to engage in foreplay with her. So he's not picking up what she's putting down.
Fucking gross.
Yeah. And Karen continues to protest, and Randy forces himself on her and removes her pants and her underwear.
Oh, my God.
And while Karen is trying to fight him off, he attempts to have sex with her.
That is so fucking gross.
Right? Fucking right. Especially if you're like, I don't want anything to do with you. Go away.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad when it's a stranger, but it's bad when it's like
the person that you loved and trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not the person that you married. Like, I didn't agree to have sex with this person.
No.
I agreed to have sex with the person
And her baby's 4 weeks old. Can we discuss that?
No. You're supposed to wait 6.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And even then, you're like, are you sure, Doc? Can you write me a note?
Yeah. I don't want to do this anymore. Ever
I'm
again.
terrified.
I'm never having sex.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That is fucking awful.
Yes.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Yes. Yes, I agree with everything that you just said. So Karen goes, quote unquote, ballistic, according to Randy.
Yeah, as she fucking should.
Yes. Get your fucking dick out of me. And they begin to struggle. Karen yells, rape, and Randy covers her mouth with one hand and grips her neck with the other and begins to choke her.
Jesus.
Whoa, overreaction, bro?
Yeah.
And so she grabs a lamp that's on the end table, and she ends up grabbing the lampshade itself, which is made of glass, and she swings it at Randy.
God damn.
He blocks it, and the lampshade shatters, sending shards of glass everywhere. And so Karen sees the opportunity and grabs a shard of glass and slashes at Randy like a knife.
What the fuck?
And it makes contact with his hand and slices his hand open.
Oh my God.
And then Randy gets pissed, right? He's like, whoa, you just sliced me open.
Yeah.
So he grabs the glass from Karen and slashes at her fucking throat.
No.
And cuts it open. And he continues to slash at her, causing 30 wounds.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. And they fall to the floor together, and Randy begins to choke Karen again. He squeezes her neck so hard that his finger went through one of the knife wounds and into her fucking flesh.
Oh my God.
Ew.
That is so awful.
Ew. And Karen fought back, and she shoved her thumb into Randy's eye. Get it, girl.
Fucking, how is she still
moving?
Yeah.
I have no idea. So Randy responds by headbutting her and knocking her out. And then one account said that he bit her neck.
Oh my God. With all of the knife wounds in it?
I didn't find that in the actual court documents. I don't know if that was just like another article got it wrong or what, but it says he bit her neck.
Hearsay.
Yeah, hearsay. Yeah, but that's really gross with all the fucking knife wounds and shit.
That is so gross.
So now she's knocked out, and he continues to choke her until she's not responsive. And then he stands up, kicks her in the head, and stood on her fucking neck for an additional 5 to 10 minutes to make sure she was dead.
Minutes?
Minutes.
Do you know how long a minute is?
What the fuck? And you're standing on someone's neck.
That is so fucking awful.
Oh my God. So this guy went batshit crazy.
Well, what kind of drugs was he on?
Cocaine.
That seriously? It was just cocaine?
That's all the fucking report said was he took a little bump of cocaine.
I mean, I've never done coke. I don't know what it does to you.
I don't either.
But I figured that would be like a fucking bath salts or like PCP or, you know,
all of the
crack even.
The court documents kept saying that it was a cocaine psychosis. So I don't know what that means or why it would be. Like, I don't know if it's like bad cocaine and it induces this, or some people just can't do cocaine because it creates a psychosis or whatever.
I guess maybe it could have been like days too, because don't you usually go on like binges?
Yeah. Yeah. And she had just talked to him about it. So maybe. But it was dubbed like a cocaine psychosis.
Well, what the fuck?
What the actual fuck? So, she's dead, right?
Yeah.
And then he runs out of the house into the street, and a neighbor of Randy's, her name is Renee Beale, She hears a dog barking and a man yelling that he needs something, and so she looks out of her kitchen window, like, to see what's going on, and she sees Randy with his sweatpants and underwear around his fucking ankles.
What the fuck?
And he has no shirt on, and he's coming straight for her door.
Nope. Lock that shit.
Nope.
Deadbolt.
Nope.
Fuck that.
Right?
Close the windows.
Also, how the fuck do you run with that shit around your ankles?
He's probably running kind of slow.
Yeah. He's like...
Yeah. Little baby steps.
Yeah. So he opens the front door, and he comes flying in, and he lands on her couch.
What?
Yeah. And she's still in the kitchen like, what the fuck?
And then she ran out of the house because fuck that.
Yeah, get me the fuck out of here. Well, he stands up, he pulls up his pants, and he goes into the kitchen where Renee is, and they start yelling at each other.
She's like, get the fuck out of my house, you crazy person.
That's exactly what she was yelling at. I'm like, get out of the fucking house. And he's yelling at her that he needed help because, quote unquote, they were after him, and she needs to call 911 for him.
Yeah, I'll call 911 as soon as you step outside.
Yeah, I'm calling 911. That's for goddamn certain.
Yeah.
But Renee's boyfriend had been home, and he heard the fucking ruckus, and he goes into the kitchen to see what the heck is going on, and it, like, scares Randy off, and he books it into their fucking bedroom.
What?
He goes into their bedroom, and guess what he does?
What?
He sits on the TV.
What?
Yeah.
Where was the TV?
I can only imagine, like, on their dresser. Like,
that's where normal TVs go. Like... on a stand, at least.
He, like, scaled the dresser and then just sat on it.
That's
this is
so
96, so they're all, like, actual box TVs.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, a flat screen.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Fucking weird.
And was he just, like, swinging his legs up there? Like, what? What is he doing? That would scare me more than a fucking man with no pants running at me.
Right? Like, okay, what the fuck is actually happening
still
here?
In my home?
Yeah, this is fucking weird. Okay, so then Randy jumps off the TV, and he runs back into the kitchen, and then he runs out of the house through the back door.
Okay. And
Renee says that Randy was, like, obviously super out of it and clearly high on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, she knew.
Yeah. Like, his pupils were probably dilated or something, too.
Yeah, like, he wasn't fucking there.
Yeah. Well, this is also his neighbor, so she presumably has met him before. Yeah.
Exactly. So another neighbor, Ruth Lovell, she was putting her trash in the dumpster and was on her way to work when she heard a bunch of screaming. And so she gets back into her car, and then all of a sudden she sees Randy running in between two trailers with no shirt on and just his sweatpants.
Okay. And at least he got him up.
Yeah, at least he kept them up, right? So he was screaming, and he had a broom in his hand. And then he proceeded to jump on the hood of Ruth's car.
What the fuck?
And Ruth starts yelling at him, like, get off my fucking car. If you don't get off, I'm going to hit you and run you over.
Yeah, you crazy person. You fucking maniac.
What the fuck? So he climbs off the hood of the car, and then he tries to get into her car.
No. Why aren't these people locking everything that they have? Please tell me that she had her goddamn car locked.
What the fuck? No. He got the door open.
Oh, my God.
He was going for the passenger door. He gets the door open, and Ruth guns it because she's like, not today, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And she guns it, and he holds on to the door, and they're both just, like, screaming like crazy, and he's being drug along, and eventually he lets go, and he falls to the pavement, and then he rolls into a ditch.
What the fuck?
And then Ruth goes to work, because that's where she was going. And
I'm just going to finish this day.
I'm not going back home. Well, but when she gets there, that's when she calls the cops. And I'm sure other people had called the cops also.
Yeah,
But, like, she didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Or anything. So, a little after 6 a.m., so, like, an hour after waking up fucking Karen, the police show up and find Randy in the ditch, and he's all kinds of tore up.
This all took place in less than an hour?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
His pants were, like, past his butt, and his butt was all cut up, and he had, like, abrasions and shit from being drug on the pavement.
Yeah, road rash.
Yeah, and Randy told the police that the devil had come to get him, and someone was under the police car. So he was fucking tripping balls.
Jesus.
Right? He also said, quote unquote, that bitch tried to kill him, and she had tried to strangle him. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
yeah,
you're being weird. And so the police go.
You're being weird right now.
You're being super fucking weird.
I mean, it was okay up until this point.
Yeah. I was okay with your behavior.
But nobody's tried to strangle you. You're being weird.
And you started talking about the devil, so now I'm out on you.
Yeah.
So the police go and check out the niece's trailer. And they find Karen laying lifeless on the floor with her pants ripped off, and she was spread eagle as if she had been sexually assaulted.
Oh my God.
And she was clearly dead.
Did he sexually assault her after she died?
I don't know, but he like attempted to have sex with her, so I'm not sure if he succeeded or what.
Yeah, but like if you attempted to have sex with a person and then you're like being strangled, I would probably close my legs like in like a don't fucking touch me kind of way. Like,
but maybe he was like in between her legs, like
maybe.
strangling her and shit.
Oh God.
Oh my God. I don't fucking know, man.
Okay.
But they performed an autopsy, and it was determined that she had died from asphyxiation by manual strangulation, and that she had, I can't remember the wording, but it was something along the lines of like suggested sexual assault. So maybe they didn't find like semen or anything there.
But like,
or if they did, they were like, well, they were husband and wife. Who knows if it happened?
Yeah.
Now,
I was gonna say suggested sexual assault could also be you gave birth 4 weeks ago. Because if you looked at any hoo-ha after 4 weeks,
it's damaged no matter what.
It looks like there's suggestion of sexual assault.
It's fucking tore up.
It's been assaulted.
Yes, it has. By a goddamn baby punching its way out of your uterus.
Maybe they also weren't able to tell if it was that or if it was like...
Oh my God, this poor woman.
Ugh.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So the paramedics take Randy to the hospital, and the police question him there. And Randy seemed to be behaving abnormally still, and he had like this wild, wide-eyed look in his eyes. Mm-hmm. And his eyes kept like rolling back into his head, and he would fade in and out of consciousness. So maybe you're right that it was like a binge.
Yeah. I wonder, can they, like, I don't know, pump your stomach for that? Like, what can they do? Can they flush your system somehow?
Maybe give you some fluids?
Yeah. Like, to get it out of your system faster? Or do you just have to ride that shit out?
I don't know, because it wasn't that much longer before he, like, becomes a little more aware.
Coherent?
Yeah, at 8 a.m., which I'll tell you about after I mention this bullet point, which was, this is weird to me. He was laying flat on his back, like, at the hospital.
Uh-huh.
But the police describe him as his body was pacing. So he was, like, jittery? I don't fucking know what that means.
Yeah.
But they were like, this guy is on some shit. Like, he doesn't look normal.
I wonder if that's a technical term for a thing. Because, like, you know how your heart can, like...
Yeah.
You have a fucking pace or whatever?
Yeah.
Maybe it's, like, a technical term. Like, if he was, like, jumping around or something. Like, maybe that's what pacing is.
Maybe. I thought that was really weird.
It's not like he's like just
literally trying to walk back
one way and then the other. Yeah.
Maybe he was though in place in his bed.
Yeah, just his little legs are moving.
Fucking weird.
That's fucking scary though.
Right? So then by 8 a.m. he was awake enough to waive his Miranda rights, and he confessed to the murder of his wife Karen Neese.
Wow.
So
at least he's fucking owning up to it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think he could lie.
Yeah.
It's like covered in her blood.
He could be like, I don't remember, I was on a fucking drug-induced psychosis.
That's true, and that's actually one of his, like, defenses later. When he tries to, like, appeal some shit.
And then they're like, yeah, but you confessed to everything and told us the details.
Exactly.
So you did remember.
He said that after he murdered her, he thought that he saw a guy with a gun wearing a black coat chasing him, and that's when he had, like, the broom and had jumped on Ruth's car. Oh. So he was, like, explaining everything that he was seeing and shit. On 4 separate occasions, the police got a confession out of Randy, and he, like, detailed the whole timeline of the murder. And they even got the confession on audio. So exactly, like, you can't claim that you didn't do this or that you don't remember it because you told us everything.
Yeah.
The whole murder instance took approximately 45 minutes. Jesus. From, like, the time he started this whole fucking talk with Karen till he got arrested or found in the street or
You know what's really sad, too, is that he is the one that had to tell the police and us
what happened
or whatever that, like, he tried to lay on the couch with his wife and she told him no, and then he got back up and then she told him no, and then he tried to have foreplay with her and she told him no. Like, he knew that deep in his brain, even if this was all covered by drugs and fueled by drugs. Deep in his brain, he knew what he did
and that it was wrong.
Yeah. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's so gross. Like, and was this the first time, or did he do this to her before?
Yeah, right? Like, maybe this was just the first time that she fought back.
Yeah, it's so sad. So, he was convicted of attempted forcible rape and first-degree murder, and he was given the death penalty.
God damn.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Randy tried to appeal his case in many ways. Like, most notably, he cited, like, ineffective counsel because he claims his lawyer didn't do shit to, like, defend him.
Listen, buddy.
Yeah, it's really hard to do.
Yeah. Not a miracle worker.
Anything you find online, this is mostly what the case is about, is his appeal. And I didn't really write much on it because, quite honestly, I don't give a fuck what this guy is trying to say to get out of it. I just wanted to tell the story, you know? But one of the main things was, like, his lawyer didn't bring in the fact that he was high on cocaine when all this murder shit happened. And so his whole defense of being like, hey, this is a cocaine psychosis, like, thing, he brought up more about his childhood and how, you know, he grew up in a rough house and all this other stuff, instead of saying, like, yo, he wouldn't normally do this, but he was on cocaine and it made him do this or whatever. So
like, it's not an excuse, but also it's not his normal personality.
Which it would have been a way better defense than what his, like, lawyer went with.
Because if you're going with, like, oh, it's his childhood, I'd be like, oh, so he's a serial killer. It's just been waiting for the moment.
It's in his body. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he appeals, like, a handful of times, and they were denied every time, and he's still on death row. And so it was really hard to find anything on Karen. I had to dig so hard to find anything. And this is what I got, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about her.
All right.
Karen was born in 1969, and when she was 9, her father had died of kidney cancer.
Aww.
Growing up, she was a cheerleader and on the band's color guard.
That's nice.
Yeah, and she was also very close to her brother, and they would always go fishing and swimming together. And she was close with all of her grandparents and would often visit her grandma in the nursing home where she lived.
Aww.
And I guess the grandma had, like, Alzheimer's and everything, so she didn't have, like, the best memory. And Karen had planned to go visit her grandma with her baby boy, Garrett, to go take pictures together. But she never got the chance to do that because she was murdered.
So sad.
Here's the saddest part, and it's my last little bullet. But Karen's mom said that after Karen died, the grandma never asked about her because of her dementia, and her mom never had the heart to tell her that Karen was dead. Let me just bring this down.
I know.
Erin looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Isn't it?
I think I would have done the same thing as Karen's mom.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have had the heart to tell her.
No.
That this person that your granddaughter that you had a good relationship with and everything, like, oh my God. Like, my grandma would be so heartbroken.
Fuck yeah, that's fucking terrible.
Oh.
And, like, died at the hands of your husband? What a dick.
What a fucking asshole.
Right? Anyway, so everything I've read about Randy being in prison and everything is that he's, like, a model inmate, and he's, like, a part of all these
drugs.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a part of all these programs. Kind of like how they explained him in childhood that he wasn't a bad kid. It's like the drugs made him do bad things. Once he started doing drugs, that's when he started to turn.
Yeah.
So,
which I have a certain amount of sympathy for a person whose best friend dies, because I would fucking kill myself if you died.
Yeah, that would suck.
But...
And he never got, like, therapy or anything for it either, because his mom was awful and, like, didn't really care.
Yeah. But you have a 4-week-old child to, like, fucking shape your shit up for.
Yeah, you don't keep doing drugs.
No, you could be like, you know what, that was really sad and everything, but, like, I'm a dad now. Like, I have to act right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to be a better dad than your dad was to you or whatever it is.
That's what's so crazy.
Did your dad fucking murder your mom?
Yeah, Jesus, you turned out to be a little worse.
Yeah. How's the kid, do you know?
I don't know. They didn't say anything about the little boy.
Yeah, they're usually protected.
Yeah. So, that's my goddamn story.
Oh, goddamn.
Fuck.
Those are rough ones today.
I know. They're really sad. They're really downers.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's turn this fucking around.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a goddamn today.
Do we?
Do you think that'll perk everybody up?
It'll perk me up.
All right, let's do it.
And I'm who matters.
You are who's matters.
Who's matters here?
Who's the matters here is yous. Okay, here it comes. This is from Jackie Wood again, and this time it's her son's goddamn.
Oh, well, goddamn.
She's making it a fucking family affair.
Yeah, she is. I wonder if he listens. What's up, Jackie Wood's son?
What's up?
God damn.
Well, goddamn.
I like the rasp. God damn. That's awesome. Thank you, Jackie. You're always so fun.
You are. You're the best.
You knew it was going to happen. We did it. We delivered. Everybody send your goddams in.
Yeah, we love hearing them.
They make us so happy.
And
do we have any other big announcements? Oh, we do have, let me answer my own question. We do have another announcement that's exciting.
Do we?
Yeah, our second Patreon. We just released it yesterday.
We did.
Everybody go to our fucking Patreon and check that shit out.
Heck yeah.
Go donate and listen to some more murder.
More murder.
You can find it on our website,
isgdpodcast.com.
or you can go to Patreon/ISGD podcast.
Patreon.com/ISGD podcast.
Okay, there you go. That one.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's forward or backward. Also, find us on social media. We're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we are.
At ISGD Podcast.
Come tell us how much you love us so we can feel good about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also tell us how much you love us by subscribing, rating, and reviewing us on whatever the fuck you listen on, because that's so exciting.
That's always exciting.
I have to say, the people who take the time to leave a fucking review are special kind of people in this goddamn world.
They really are. I need to get better at reviewing who I listen to.
I know, right?
Because it seriously means so goddamn much.
Right? I would say that's like 50% of the excitement that comes behind podcasting are those reviews that you get.
It's very validating.
It is so validating.
Someone else thinks we're funny.
Yay!
Oh, we have email. You can email us stuff at isgdpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can send us mail at P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
And then also, don't forget to go check out our merch, because Aaron added a bunch of shit.
Oh, yeah, I did add a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all?
I think so.
Later, losers.
Bye.
And if you're all caught up on our podcast, stay tuned for a promo from Nordic True Crime Podcast.
Norway reeling from twin attacks. First, a suspected cargo.
Quick was known as Sweden's worst serial killer. Quick was convicted.
Kim Wall disappeared after boarding Madsen's submarine in Copenhagen harbour last August.
Terrorism, miscarriages of justice, serial killers, disappearances. From the known to the lesser known, we give you true crime from the dark and frozen regions of Northern Europe. This is Nordic True Crime. Subscribe to our bi-weekly episodes on iTunes, Spotify, or on your podcast provider. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Nordic True Crime.